Hi, I'm Austin, and today I'm going to show you how you can take flight in Microsoft Flight Simulator using nothing more than your Xbox controller and our handcrafted controller mount. This unique accessory transforms your standard Xbox controller into a fully functional collective lever, giving you levels of precision, immersion, and control that simply aren't possible with the controller alone. For this demonstration, we're in Paris, right beneath the Eiffel Tower at Helipad 5. With photogrammetry turned off, the helipad sits on a bit of a plinth, and if it's on, you'll actually spawn slightly in the air, so just keep that in mind before takeoff. We've remapped the controls to maximize dexterity. Tail rudder assistance, however, is definitely essential here since we don't have dedicated rudder pedals for those fine adjustments, and the left stick handles that instead. The D-pad now controls both your cockpit and external cameras. You can press A along with the up or down D-pad buttons to adjust your pilot's view height, use Y with up or down to move your position forward or backward, and combine X with left or right on the D-pad to shift the camera side to side to set up your perspective. You can store this with the B button and down on the D-pad, and reset by simply pressing down on the left control stick. If all of that sounded like a mouthful, it certainly is, but don't worry. If you're on PC, you can simply download our controls file and import it into the sim. And if you're on Xbox or eventually PlayStation, we have a handy downloadable control sheet for you to set up your collective with ease. To take off, gently pull back on the collective lever. Remember, movement range is limited, so small, precise inputs are key. I want you to watch the second dial from the left, because it shows how the aircraft responds to each adjustment. Real pilots would perform a hover check here, finding the exact power needed to lift off smoothly. Every flight begins and ends with a stable hover, and that level of control simply isn't achievable with just a standard controller alone. To trim the aircraft, you can hold the right trigger while pressing X, Y, B, or A to trim in each of their respective directions. Pressing B by itself engages force trim, allowing you to just release the collective without having to maintain constant pressure to keep going. Every essential mapping is designed so you can control what you need to without having to even lift your hands. If you'd like to pick one up for yourself, there's a link down in the description where you can find it on eBay. When you order, here's exactly what you'll receive. The main holder, designed for your Xbox controller to clip securely into, a sturdy desk clamp letting you mount it wherever you fly, and an adapter plate complete with screws and wing nuts so you can switch between helicopter mode and aeroplane mode in seconds. There are no tools needed, you just tighten, swap, and you're ready to go. Because the Xbox controller has a limited number of buttons and axes, you'll want to create a separate control profile for this setup. That way you can easily switch between normal use and flight or racing mode without conflict. And here's the fun part, it's not just for flying. You can simply bind the left trigger to your handbrake in a rally game, and your Xbox controller instantly transforms into a desk-mounted handbrake. To reset, just loosen the inside wing nut for the lever slightly, until the trigger spring can return it to the off position when you've released it. This means you don't have to push your handbrake back down so that you can drive off after the corner again. As we come into land here at Helipad 9, you can really feel the difference. The control is smoother, the handling more natural, and those awkward button presses trying to juggle A and B to manage the collective are a thing of the past. It's a tight landing for sure, but with this setup, it's precise, stable, and incredibly satisfying. I'd love to hear what you think, so drop a comment if you've tried something similar, or if you've got suggestions for future improvements or flight sim setups. If you'd like to pick one up for yourself, there's a link down in the description where you can find it on eBay.